My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. What do we have here? Obama, Kerry, blast, Trump's Iran deal decision. Oh my god, really? That's surprising they would do that. Former President Barack Obama slammed President Trump's decision on Tuesday to withdraw this is a typo, from the Iran nuclear agreement that Obama helped to negotiate. There are few issues more important to the security of the United States than the potential spread of nuclear weapons, or the potential for even more destructive wars in the Middle East. Obama should know he got us into Yemen without even a whimper from the left. In fact, there's a great article. Where is that? Obama, Yemen. Okay. This is an article in The Guardian. This is October 2016. The U.S. just bombed Yemen and no one's talking about it. Mustafa Bayoumi. This is obviously during President Obama's tenure. Now, it is a good thing that people on the left and the right don't want... Well, mainly, there's actually more people who are conservative, who are anti-regime change. Rachel Maddow and everybody else had no problem with Hillary Clinton, who was more hawkish than Trump. Any future Democrat will be more hawkish than Trump because you have... There was a poll recently, The Hill talked about a couple months back. Democrats have a favorable view of George W. Bush. A favorable view. You have Robert Kagan and Max Boot, who are on MSNBC panels. These are neoconservatives who worked for the Bush administration and who pushed the lead up to Iraq and the Iraq War and Afghanistan wars and the regime changes. Also in the attempted regime change in Syria under President Obama and Clinton when she was Secretary of State. But Obama got us into Yemen. He got us into Syria. He prolonged our stay and continued Bush's wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He droned more than Bush. He got us into 130 countries in terms of special forces. We're all over the place under President Obama, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize. Trump is less hawkish. First of all, we have peace between North and South Korea. The guy deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. If he meets with Kim Jong-un, or if there's actual lasting peace, he's said to have scheduled a meeting with Kim Jong-un. If there is a meeting with North Korea, and actually peace between South Korea, we saw the just monumental paradigm-changing meeting between Kim Jong-un and President Moon Jae-in of South Korea. If this happened under Obama, it would be like there would be this halo, and he would be on every cover. Like Maddow and Chris Hayes would be crying, tears of just reverence. Okay, so the Iran deal was a bad deal. It doesn't mean that we're going to go to war with Iran. So, and not everything is about Israel, okay? Not everything is about Israel. I love Israel, but I want a Palestinian state. I want the Palestinian people to have a state of their own. Okay, so let's get that clear. There's also issues like Hamas and Hezbollah and everything else that are completely ignored by the left, completely ignored. But so where am I going with this? I'm saying that not everything is this, completely ideological battle or test of wills or battle of ideologies. It was a bad deal, okay? 23 ballistic missiles. Well, I'll tell you. I'll get to that in a second. But basically, okay, there are a few more important issues. There are a few issues more important to the security of the United States. First of all, this is President Obama who called ISIS the JV of Al-Qaeda. So he was completely clueless. He was militant, got us into wars that we were not in prior to his administration. Ask the people of Libya, and then he destroyed Libya. There are now slave auctions in Libya. He knows very little, Obama, about limiting destructive wars. If anything, his tenure saw the increase of destructive and chaotic and catastrophic wars. Okay, before Obama, it was okay to live in Syria and Libya. People had, they had lives there, and I'm sure a great many were very happy living in their countries. This is not 100% Obama's fault, but it was during his tenure, and he exacerbated both conflicts, the NATO bombing in Libya, and then, of course, $500 million he spent for like 6 or 10 Syrian rebels, some insane money laundering scheme, obviously. Then you had Benghazi under Clinton. I mean, it's like, with Trump, it's this complete fabrication. The Steele dossier. They're talking about a dossier purchased by Clinton. Meanwhile, Obama destroys Libya, and it's like, whatever. But the deal was a bad deal. It really doesn't matter. There can be there's international monitoring. The delivery system. If the delivery system of a nuclear program is if they're free to just test missiles, we got on North Korea for testing missiles. Every time Kim Jong-un tested a missile, it was, oh my God, national, worldwide news. Revealed Obama has fired 23 ballistic missiles since the start of 2015. Okay, not good. 23 ballistic missiles. 23 ballistic missile tests. What is good about that? How is that preventing their program? So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, it was a great deal for peace. Okay. Then why did they feel the need to test the delivery system of their non-existent nuclear program? I'm just going to assume in this segment that they're not actually developing, using the enriched uranium and scientists and developing an actual nuclear weapon. Then why are they firing 23 ballistic missiles? Okay, why are they firing missiles that are meant to hit other countries with a payload of a nuclear exchange or a nuclear retaliation? Simply saying that, okay, so the reality is clear, Obama said Tuesday. It's working. This is a view shared by our European allies. Who cares? Your European allies were just fine with trying to remove Assad by any means, having Syria just implode, chaos, mayhem. Your European allies, our European allies, were just fine with a whole bunch of things. Iraq, Afghanistan. The Europeans will do anything the United States says. So, and that's not I wish that was not the case. That's not hubris or jingoism on my part or, some nationalistic fervor. I wished that that was not the case. But you have a situation where it was okay, let me read this. Okay. A report by the foundation. So they say, well, this is allowed in the deal. Yeah, that's why it's a bad deal. You don't allow a ballistic missiles program if you have a situation where a country is said to have curbed or, stopped its nuclear weapons program. Sorry, that goes, well, that affects their military. Well, that's sorry. You can't go ahead and test ballistic missiles and be okay with it if you weren't okay with it with North Korea. And then the logic that we're going to invade Iran. We're not going to invade Iran. There's no, the government there is stable. There's no civil war, thank God. Israel does not have the military to just invade Iran or attack Iran. They could, but it would not be good for Israel. Israel will not do that. Doesn't matter what Netanyahu says. Okay, there's so much hate for Israel. It's just unbelievable. And it blinds people. It's like, hey, we're doing it because of Israel. No, the U.S. has its own interests. The U.S. has its own interests. And if they happen to coincide with Israel's, fine. And if Israel has its interest and lobbies on, behalf of certain things, well, other countries do that as well. So does Saudi Arabia. So do other countries. But We don't have the capacity right now in terms of just a military or just soldiers, troop numbers and strength. We're not going to occupy Tehran. It's not going to happen. We're not going to have Trump is not going to have oil spike when there's like a record unemployment is lower than it has been in years. Black and Latino unemployment has been, I think it's the lowest point ever. So then, nobody wants to give Trump credit. Oh, well, this is a lagging indicator of Obama. What about peace between North and South Korea? Oh, well, you know what? He had nothing to do with that. So anything good that takes place during Trump's administration, not his fault. Anything bad, attributed to Trump, 100%. What a bad person. Horrible, horrible guy. A report by the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, obtained by, shows Iran has fired 23 ballistic missiles. As many as 16 of these launches involved nuclear-capable missiles. So, "16 of these launches involve nuclear-capable missiles." So the majority of these missile tests are not just, some kind of you can be tied to conventional warfare. 16 of the 23 have to do with an actual nuclear missiles program. And I'm the bad guy. And I have friends on Twitter who are saying, HA, you're crazy and whatever. I have a great deal of respect for Jamal Thomas, the Progressive Soapbox. I've been on his channel numerous times to debate issues. I would love to debate him if he'd like, And yeah, I'll debate anyone on this. It's not a matter of the Iran deal simply being some kind of agreement and therefore automatically leading to peace. If they can get away with it, first of all, they're not even hiding. There were 23 ballistic missile tests, 16 of which could be used were tests for a nuclear payload or weapon. Okay, and then NPR. Okay, hold on. Iran test. Okay, so the Iran's ballistic missile test violate a UN resolution. So this is the early February of 2017. So did Iran violate the agreement or not? The fact that it didn't, or people say it didn't, is even scarier. You sign an agreement and you make it seem like it's the best thing ever. That allows them to test 16 out of 23 missile tests. That allows them to actually test the launching of a nuclear missile? Okay. Most non-proliferation experts say Iran certainly defied the spirit of the UN resolution. This is why these things are irrelevant. We need the United Nations. I do believe we need the United Nations. In fact, Kofi Annan has said that invading the Iraq War was violated the UN Charter. That's Bush. We need the United Nations, but the spirit of a UN resolution, but technically didn't violate it because it contains no prohibition against such testing, as one of its predecessors passed in 2010 specifically did. So good. Okay. Here's what the two resolutions say on the subject. UN Security Council Resolution 1929 from 2010 says that the Security Council decides that Iran shall not undertake any activity related to ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons. Okay, they already violated that. 16 of the 23, according to the report that I just mentioned, talked about that it launched, missiles that... So, all of this is... Okay, so... And resolutions. So... The diplomatic terms of art shall not, which appeared in the 10 resolution represents a clear and enforceable prohibition, whereas being called upon not to, something is more ambiguous. So they're called upon not to, but they weren't, whatever the word, okay. So this is all nonsense. You're hiding behind semantics as a way to just say, what the Democratic Party does, and this is why Obama's legacy was not a good legacy, he did not have a lasting legacy. Well, the ACA could be that. So that was, that was a good thing for a great many people. But other than the Affordable Care Act, Obama's legacy in terms of foreign policy was horrible, atrocious. The world is more dangerous after President Obama. Just within 2 years of Trump, the world is less dangerous. We have one less major catastrophic potential issue, war or travesty. To see North and South Korea, to see President Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un shake hands is just a monumental moment in world history. And it took place under Trump. And you don't say that Trump had nothing to do with it, because you certainly, people who don't like Trump said, "Oh my God, his diplomacy is going to lead us to war with North Korea." Then they're like, they had to pump the brakes, like, "Oh, he didn't have anything to do with peace." So it's like, it can't win. And here's another issue also. This is a very, if there are people who don't like me who manage to watch this long, very simple to understand. Trump is less hawkish than Hillary Clinton. I don't think too many people debate that. And Trump is less hawkish than any Democrat in 2020. They will not allow Tulsi Gabbard to win, or Bernie. So I'm just going to give people a public service announcement, and nobody will care, just like nobody cared when I said things that did happen in 2015. I said that Clinton would lose. I said only Bernie could win for Democrats. Now they're saying exactly what I said, but they called it clickbait when I was saying it. Bernie will never be allowed to win. When I interviewed Jared Beck, he stated that, right? Because even me at that point, I was still consider myself progressive and all of these things. And I was like, can Bernie win? And Jared Beck was, and he's, front and center. Jared and Elizabeth Beck and Nico House are the three people very courageously going up against the DNC. Without them, we wouldn't know that the DNC is like, yeah, we can go ahead and rig elections. We're a private entity. Oh, by the way, U.S. government, please impose sanctions because we fabricated a Russian hacking and Trump-Russia myth. But we don't know about DNC corruption without Jared Beck, Elizabeth Beck, and Nico House. But the issue here is that Bernie will never be allowed to win. He wasn't in 2016, and he got very close. Considering what he was up against, he got very close. He got too close for comfort. There's still superdelegates Tom Perez will never allow, and Tulsi Gabbard represents a huge, huge change. Tulsi Gabbard represents a great paradigm shift, and I believe in 2024, she could very well become president. But you need the DNC to be completely peacefully dismantled, and the only way that's going to happen is with a Trump presidency in 2020. That's just one reason. Another reason, it's a good thing that the Iran deal is being, we've left the Iran deal. It wasn't a good deal, number one. It allowed 16 out of 23 nuclear ballistic missile tests, 16 out of 23 dealing with a nuclear missile. So the notion that they've stopped a program is only half true. Having a nuclear missile without the ability to deliver it is not really a program. It's there's no point to it. What are you going to hand deliver the bomb? You send it, messenger pigeon? No. So when Kerry and Obama, it's like their track record is atrocious. The track record is terrible. That's my take. We're not going to invade or attack Iran. Not everything has to do with Netanyahu controlling U.S. foreign policy. And believe it or not, there are Republicans who happen to be right on certain things, and they're right about this. Trump is not this madman. In fact, what he's proven is that he's pretty smart. There's wisdom. There's a great deal of wisdom there that Obama lacked. That's something that needs to be just kind of acknowledged by people. There's a wisdom that Trump has that's you're already seeing the fruits of his foreign policy. You're already seeing the positive, the benefits of Trump's foreign policy. North and South Korea working for peace is an example. That never happened under President Obama. Why? Let's just go really quickly. Under Obama, we know this from Clinton warned U.S. would ring China with missile defense. She told Goldman Sachs bankers this. She wouldn't tell the public. U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton said in a private speech to bankers 3 years ago the United States had warned Beijing it would ring China with missile defense unless it did more to rein in North Korea's missile program. This is under Obama. Okay, there's zero wisdom there. You don't threaten China when the entire reason they're allied with North Korea is to serve as a buffer between them and the United States. China has always utilized North Korea as this kind of country that it could always point to and say, well, we'll help you out with North Korea, but you have to be, you have to cool it with us. That was leverage for North Korea. And you increase the incentive not to rein in that was leverage for China, I should say. And you increase the leverage or the incentive for China not to rein in North Korea if you threaten China. The United States warned it would ring China with missile defense. That wasn't Trump's foreign policy. Trump's foreign policy is obviously, his diplomacy started with direct belligerent or direct communication with Kim Jong-un, saying that he is willing, sending aircraft carriers there. Whatever, going on Twitter and having this exchange. People say, oh my God, he's crazy. Well, it worked. It worked. It brought Kim Jong-un to the negotiating table. A lot faster, infinitely faster than ringing China with missile defense under Obama. So tell me again how Trump is this madman while Obama was this cool, intelligent, disciplined, serene, intellectual. So, and Trump is not going to destroy the economy by invading Iran without any. And then when you invade Iran, you have to go ahead and occupy it. We're already occupying two countries. We already have soldiers in Yemen and soldiers in Syria and special forces around the world. This is not going to destroy domestically the economy that he presides over now. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. It's such hypocrisy. It's hilarious. It's hilarious seeing that President Obama, the world is now the world is less safe because of President Obama's tenure, not more safe. With Trump, it's an objective reality. The world is more safe when you look at North and South Korea negotiating for peace. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. Check out my last segment regarding the wonderful and amazing Eric Schneiderman, who blamed role-playing, and this is the New Yorker, role-playing for beating women. This is the Democrat, by the way, a Mueller ally, who wanted to impeach Trump. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. That's the last segment prior. Actually, I'll put it below. I'll put the link below. Share that segment everywhere because I read the New Yorker article. Thank you so much for listening.